Good evening. It's March 30th, 2025, and it's the fourth Sunday of Lent. How are you doing today, Mr. Jeckovich?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
I heard you had a nice day.
Yeah?
I heard Amber stopped by and visited you.
Yeah, for a while, yeah.
Yeah, she had to get to church Sunday. So it's the fourth Sunday of Lent, March 30th, 2025. It's my pleasure and honor to be speaking with the humble hero, Mr. John J. Jeckovich. Mr. John J. Jeckovich. Mr. Jeckovich is from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. Isn't today a gift, Mr. Jeckovich?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Boys and girls, it's a short dance around the sun, so enjoy every day. Mr. Jeckovich said in last month's reading, he blinked his eyes at 20, and he was 100 years old. Wow. That's how fast it must go. That's how fast it must go. Mr. Jeckovich was born in 1925, October 17th, 1925. And now here we are, 100 years later, 2025, and Mr. Jeckovich will soon be knocking on the door of 100.
Yeah.
You hear those knocks, Mr. Jeckovich?
Huh?
You hear those knocks?
Oh, yeah, I hear him. I hear
Knocking on
him.
the door of 100. However, Mr. Jeckovich is in almost perfect health. He reads 2 to 3 newspapers every morning, including the Wall Street Journal, with no glasses. Mr. Jeckovich has got a powerful grip. If you would shake your hand, he could knock you to the ground.
Oh, boy.
Don't shake it, don't shake his hand.
Yeah, don't shake his hand, he could knock you to the ground.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so he's in perfect health. Mr. Jeckovich jogged for 80 years, didn't you?
Yeah?
You jogged for 80 years.
Yeah.
What got you started in jogging?
I read a book, Johnson's book.
27.
Yeah, that must have been one hell of a book because it stayed with you for 80 years. To show you how times have changed from 80 years ago, when Mr. Jeckovich started jogging in the snow-covered streets of Niagara Falls, New York, he wore the typical clothes he wore through his 80 years of jogging, corduroy pants, boots, sweatshirt, or t-shirt. At that time, the public wasn't familiar with joggers, were they?
No.
What did they say to you?
Get off the street, you bum.
Get off the street, you bum. The public had no idea Mr. Jeckovich was jogging for health. They thought he was a bum and he couldn't afford an automobile. So he got yelled at many times by the public, saying all types of derogatory things. In fact, they threw things at you.
Yeah.
What did they throw at you?
Stones, cans, and everything else.
They threw empty cans of Genesee beer. One time, one fool shot a full can of Campbell's soup, popped him right in the head. So that's how times have changed. We became much more sophisticated, and we're not ignorant of the fact that you jog for health, not for transportation. On the way to the studio today, Mr. Jeckovich, I see many people jogging in these bright neon clothes, matching, must be very expensive, matching gloves and hats, shoes. They had a water bottle wrapped around their waist. Oh, wow, they were just dressed to the nines. It must have been $500 or $600 outfits. Later in your life, did you ever buy these expensive suits?
No.
So what'd you continue to wear? The same thing?
Same stuff.
Same stuff. Yeah. I wonder why people get dressed up like that to jog.
Well, putting on a show.
Putting on a show. Putting on a show. Wow. Isn't that a great answer? Putting on a show. Wow. Wow. Putting on a show. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like some of the neighbors you would have. They get dressed up in a short mini skirt up to their ass and a revealing top and go past construction workers. And they say, John, why is everyone beeping and hooting at me?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you remember?
Yeah.
Or that screwball lady got dressed up like a slut, goes into Publix and saying, the meat man wants to rape me. Remember that?
Yeah.
So it's right, putting on a show, looking for attention.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Looking
it.
for attention. Apparently they get no attention at home, so they take it to the streets. They take it to the streets. Well, we're recording from Studio 6B today. I'll start reading your book. What's your dog tag number?
42965.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jeckovich. And we're the second go-round of your book. We're on chapter 4 now, which is titled, Passes to Owensboro. You enjoyed your trips to Owensboro, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Actually, you received gifts in the past
Yeah.
from Owensboro,
Yeah.
Kentucky. So this is page 59, Passes to Owensboro. Did you want to read or want me to?
Go ahead, go ahead.
I had promised to go to Evansville with Jim Smith. How was Jim Smith?
Yeah, he's a crappy guy. He just had a kid at home and he's worried about it and he's making golf shit and everything else.
From the 2nd platoon the next weekend, when we're both free. You're correct. He wanted to see his fiancée. So he sent his fiancée down from another state
Yeah,
to be close to him?
yeah,
I guess there was no trust there.
yeah.
I guess there was no trust there. He wanted to see his fiancée, who was staying in a motel outside Evansville. How could a soldier on a meager salary afford to pay a motel room every night for her?
I don't know.
He went broke. Smith was from South Carolina and had been with the unit 75th since we were on maneuvers in Louisiana. He would talk about his girlfriend Betsy in glowing terms, whether in the mess hall or at the PX. As I was a great listener, he would felt comfortable talking to me about her. It would finally came around to the point where he insisted that I had to go meet her personally.
Yeah.
How was it when you met her?
Huh?
How was it when you met Betsy?
Well, he's like him.
What?
She's like him.
What does that mean?
Well, he's got the same personality.
I truly wonder, your marriage lasted 69 long and wonderful years. I wonder how long their marriage lasted.
69 years.
You did, but how did Betsy and Jim Smith last?
I don't know.
What do you think?
I lost contact with him.
It'd be curious to find out, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yours lasted 69 long, wonderful years. Is there someone calling?
Oh no, the TV's not working.
Oh, that's not my problem. Okay. There were several hurdles we had to overcome before we could realize our trip to Evansville. Firstly, our training schedule must be accelerated to the point of occupying most of the day. And secondly, there were duty rosters sheet posted daily and weekends. Company duty could entail everything from KP to guard duty on a day-to-day basis and weekends. So you had to check your schedule closely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since I pulled KP, what exactly does KP involve?
The what?
What exactly does KP involve?
KP? KP is you get up 3 o'clock in the morning, go down there and help the cook breakfast, supper all.
Did you know how to cook?
No.
So how would you?
No, the cooks did the cooking. We just helped them.
So would you do dishes and things?
No, go out the truck and get vegetables for them and do this and that.
Okay, so you ran errands.
Yeah.
KP. And guard duty twice within the past month. So as Smith, we felt secure in the knowledge that we would not get it again for a while. There was also the formality of Saturday morning inspection and the possibility of getting gigged and restricted to the barracks for weekends. What's gigged?
Yeah.
What's gig mean?
Get penalized.
Okay, so if they seen you just hanging around, they'd fight for something for you to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you better scatter.
So you don't get around. You
Yeah.
stay scattered. Friday was usually a short day, completing our training about 1,200 hours. Child and armament stables until 1,500 and retreat 1,700. Afterwards, we returned to the barracks to prepare for them Saturday morning inspections. How detailed were the Saturday morning
They
inspections?
were detailed, yeah.
Yeah.
Check your foot locker, open it up, see how it's neat to set. Check out on top of the doors how dusty they are. At the
Did you
floor.
have any trouble?
No.
Did many soldiers have trouble?
No, they knew it. Well, they've been through it a couple times. They know they're good. They'll do a good job.
During World War II, I'm curious, did they have a detail where military, Army military soldiers were on horseback?
Have what?
During World War II, was any of the military soldiers on horseback?
No,
None?
none.
Okay.
Why would they be on
I
horseback?
don't know, it seems like today they still have a division for horseback.
Who?
Today the Army has some type of division for horseback. Okay.
That's the cavalry.
Was there a cavalry?
The cavalry. The cavalry was tanks and jeeps and that. But they had some horses.
Did you go on them?
No.
That must be hard going to war on a horse.
Well, you're real high up there, yeah.
And a good target.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, okay. This consisted of GI in the entire barracks. What's GI mean?
GI?
GI.
Government inspected.
Okay. Literally from top to bottom. Pails of hot water and GI soap along with the brooms were applied to the wooden barracks floor until they glistened and shined. How old are those buildings?
Probably 30 years old.
The rafters, windowsills, and doors all had to be dust-free, and the glass of the windows had to shine. The latrine had to be spick and span clean. Also, our individual equipment had to be immaculate and our foot lockers in regulation order. The coat rack and a shelf behind our bunks must be orderly and clean, with the coats and jackets in proper sequence. Also, the bunks had to have GI corners all made the same way. How do you make GI corners?
Well, you put the flap over and turn it over and make a corner.
Do you still do that today?
No, I don't think so, no.
The top of the blanket on the bunk had to be tight enough to toss a quarter onto it and have to bounce it at least a foot. So did they throw a quarter onto the blanket?
Had to be that tight, yeah.
And if it didn't bounce?
Well, they bounce up a little bit, not a foot.
The entire cleaning process usually took until lights out and everyone participated in it, with the exception of the non-coms, who took responsibility only for their individual rooms. Inspection the next morning was at 900 hours, and the inspection team consisted of company commander, the executive officer, and a platoon leader, the first sergeant, and a second sergeant. So you had a lot of inspectors there.
Yeah.
Wow. They would go through the barracks with white gloves. Oh, wow, they go through the barracks wearing white gloves?
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez. And stood in attention beside your bunks. Nothing? Minutes?
15.
Nothing was overlooked and everything was scrutinized minutely and critically. Occasionally, one of the officers would stop at an individual and ask a pertinent question such as,
What's the third field order?
what's that?
What's the third field order?
Oh, no kidding. Is that what they asked you?
Oh, yeah.
What's the seventh commandment when on guard duty? He might ask for the rifle serial number or what the duties were in the squad. You even had to memorize your rifle serial number?
I know my rifle serial number, yeah.
You know it now?
No.
I don't blame you. After the inspections, we're told how many demerits, if any, we received. Then we're told to prepare for a divisional parade. Did you like the parade?
Well, I like the parade, band and everything.
Nice band?
Yeah.
Did you ever participate in a band?
I didn't play musical.
At 1100 hours at the parade grounds. I enjoyed these parades as they were colorful and were full of much pomp and splendor. It was awe-inspiring to see such a large group of soldiers, all in the same uniform, all in step and unison, with the section flags fluttering in the breeze and the divisional band playing martial music. Then we filed past the reviewing stand with the commanding general and his entourage standing at attention, watching us pass in review. The entire ceremony lasted several hours. It lasted that long?
Yeah.
Wow. After we marched back to the company areas, was there any complaints about your marching?
No.
All went smooth.
Yeah, they had to be in step and everything.
It was at this time we're informed the status of our weekend passes and duty, if any. The information was put on the company bulletin board for all to see and weep. To see and weep, is that how you guys used to say it back then?
Yeah, well, if you're hooked for duty or something,
See
guard
and weep.
duty or something.
See and weep, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Smith and I scanned the weekend pass list, and fortunately we were on it. So you both have a pass to go to Evansville, Indiana,
Yeah.
to see Betsy in a hotel, right?
Yeah.
Smith did not want to wait until after chow to leave, but I wanted to catch the first bus to Evansville. Okay. After changing in our dress uniforms, so you wore military uniforms, right?
Oh you get thrown in the burger if they get your tag and your GI and your civilian clothes.
So right, any time you're out of that barracks, uniform.
Yeah.
After changing into what was the difference between your dress uniform and your other uniform?
Fatigue was OD. Those are your work clothes.
Okay, and what's a dress uniform?
Dress uniform is white collar, tie, pair of pants,
Okay.
shoes shined.
How many of those were you issued?
Everything was double.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. After changing into our dress uniform, we went to the orderly room to pick up our passes and sign out for the weekend. Boy, that's a lot of work to get out of the place.
Yeah.
We had to report back and sign in by 0500 hours Monday morning. Were you ever late?
No.
Was Smith ever late?
Roll call at 4:30. You had to be there.
Was Smith ever late?
No.
Oh, wow. Was he didn't want to leave his girlfriend though?
Well, he had her for over a week.
I was a little apprehensive about meeting Smith's girl. I was not very good in these types of social situations. While riding on the bus to Evansville, I informed Smith that I'd like to spend a little time with him and his girl and then head out on my own. I would sleep Saturday night in the gym. Oh, there was a gym that GIs could stay at?
No, there was some of the churches had the facilities downstairs. They had cots for GIs.
Wow, that was nice.
Yeah, and then breakfast in the morning.
How would you know his church was open?
Well, they got it on bulletin boards.
Oh, wow. I would sleep Saturday night in the gym at the local church in Evansville. I wonder if that church is there today.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah. And then have breakfast and go to church service Sunday morning. Smith agreed and nothing more was said on the subject. As we disembarked from the bus, Smith's girls was waiting for him and was accompanied by another girl. Did you know another girl was going to be there?
No.
Was that kind of like a blind date?
Yeah, that was it, yeah.
Was she a nice lady?
Well, she was nice, yeah.
I introduced Betsy and her girlfriend. I was introduced to Betsy and her girlfriend Elaine. It was then I discovered Smith and Betsy had prearranged the entire meeting and were elated about what they had accomplished. I was taken aback slightly and recovered quickly after seeing Elaine. She was attractive, of a medium height, and slender build. And I thought several years older than I, so she was much older.
Well, nah, she wasn't old, no.
Okay. Elaine had a pleasant personality.
9.
Elaine had a pleasant personality and was easy to talk to. Since Smith and Betsy were engrossed in their own conversation, we quickly got acquainted. As Betsy had a car, the plan was to take Smith and Betsy back to the motel, and Elaine and I would drive about town. So that's pretty convenient. You could drive about town in a car, not worrying about a bus, take in a movie, and be back around 1800 hours. The four of us that would then go to dinner after dropping off Smith and Betsy at the motel. Elaine and I drove around Evansville for a while. What was strange about this to me was the fact that I was participating in this entire episode, something I would have thought highly improbable by me several months ago. I was rather enjoying it, and it gave me insight in my capabilities in my social realm. What I found distracting was the fact I had difficulty with was Smith and Betsy's openness and cavalier attitude regarding their sexual longing for one another. I thought they should be more discreet about their desires for one another. For some strange reason, I thought less of Smith and Betsy. We stopped at a small drive-in restaurant for something to eat and must have stayed there a good hour or so, talking and getting to know one another. Elaine was from South Carolina. Did she have an accent?
Yeah.
And Betsy had come to Evansville last week to be, and she came to Evansville last week to be with Betsy, and she had been alone here since Smith's arrival at Breckinridge. She was in school, third year at a local college in South Carolina, and was preparing to become a nurse. They planned on joining the Navy. Oh, that's cool. As we talked, I began to realize how much I missed talking to the opposite sex. Elaine was intelligent and much more mature than I thought than Betsy. While she talked, my eyes were drawn to her sensuous legs and her flattering ankles. She quickly brought home back to reality when she asked if I had a girl back home. She seemed relieved when I said I did not. As we drove back to the motel, it seemed unconventional to be sitting next to a woman who was driving. I had never experienced that before. We reached the motel at 1830 hours. Smith related that we were late and they were starved. We found a pleasant restaurant, had a delicious meal, and a congenial dinner conversation. I enjoyed myself and did not feel tense on my guard as I usually did under these certain types of circumstances. Smith and I split the dinner cost between the two of us. As we left the restaurant, we looked for a good movie to attend. The girls decided they wanted to see White Cliffs of Dover.
Yeah.
With Greer Garson and Walter Pidgeon.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Have you seen it since then?
No.
As we sat in the movie, I thought how strange it felt to be among civilians, as I was accustomed to seeing only uniformed faces at the camp. Elaine snuggled up close to me, and I put my arm around her. I felt elated and excited at her touch. Shortly thereafter, I held her hand in mine, and she gently caressed it. I also placed my leg against hers and brushed it tenderly. She acknowledged with a smile and a gentle nudge on my arm. Needless to say, I did not pay too much attention to the movie. I was too engrossed in the drama that was unfolding behind me. Well, before me. That was interesting. Do you want me to read some text, or you feel up to it?
Oh, that's it, yeah.
You sure? Because there's always text coming in. Minutes, please.
Five.
5 minutes. These are text questions that come in daily from Mr. Jeckovich. If anyone has any questions for Mr. John J. Jeckovich, please text him All text messages will be received. All text messages will be responded to. Where there's not one text message that won't be responded to. They all will. Mr. Jeckovich, where were you born and raised?
Niagara Falls, New York.
Would you ever think of moving back there?
No, it's a hellhole now.
Okay. But it was beautiful when you were born.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Jeckovich, what were your hobbies before you entered the war?
Woodworking, electrical, carpentry work, and then fixing stuff around the house.
So those hobbies can continue to your entire life.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich, what was your family life like before the war?
Before the war?
Yeah.
Well, my father had a job. My mother had a job at Kresge's, and we were going to school.
Nice.
I had 3 meals a day. The place was
Nice
clean.
life, right?
Yeah,
How old when you were drafted?
19.
I'll be damned. Where'd you go for basic training, Mr. Jeckovich?
We went to Camp Upton, and then we went to
Fort Sam Houston?
Fort Sam Houston. We went to, yeah.
And then you ended up in Evansville.
Yeah.
Camp Breckinridge, right?
Yeah. Well, but they moved me around a lot, though.
Oh,
I was in
yeah.
artillery, field artillery, all kinds of.
Oh, so many times.
Yeah.
And it ended up your basic training in Camp Breckinridge was only 300 miles from your home.
Yeah.
Wow, full circle. Wow. What branch of the military did you serve in?
The Army.
Okay. What were your initial impressions of military life?
Well, at first I was alert because it was real strict and restricted. You had to do what they tell you. No, I didn't talk to anybody back or nothing, but you had to snap to when they talk to you. Yes, sir, no, sir, and all that nonsense.
Did some of the new recruits talk back?
Oh?
Did some of the new recruits talk back?
Oh, yeah, and they were saying, hey, you watch your mouth, boy.
Okay.
You're going
And did
to get a couple of extra duties.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Where were you stationed at during the war?
Well, I was over in Europe.
I see. What was your role in combat? Were you infantry, medic, or pilot?
I was in infantry.
Okay.
I was in heavy weapons.
Heavy weapons. Tell us what a heavy weapon is.
Heavy weapons is heavy machine guns, air, water cooled, and what's the other one? They're all heavy weapons.
You're water cooled. What happens if you touch that barrel?
Well, you burn your hand.
Badly?
Yeah.
You were, during the Battle of Bulge, was the coldest winter there in 100 years, 30, 40 below wind chill. How did you keep the water from not freezing?
Antifreeze.
I see. I see. What do you remember about D-Day?
D-Day? Well, I was skating on a creek, and I went in for lunch, and my mother said that they started an invasion. They're gonna be calling you up fast. 19-year-olds, that's what they wanted. They wanted 33s. They wanted 33s.
Yeah. 33 is a code name for teenagers.
Yeah.
Teens. There's a great big difference between the stamina and performance of a 19-year-old versus a 25-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference.
It's a good thing you missed D-Day. We got 50 seconds.
Okay. 50 seconds. Wow, that must have been very interesting.
And it was right after that they called them up.
And then you waited to get drafted. You didn't enlist, right?
Yeah. I know. I didn't enlist it. No,
You waited to get
well, yeah,
drafted.
because I was watching my mother.
Yeah, because you wanted to spend more time with your mother.
They don't have to drag me in, yeah.
They had to drag you in. I like how you put that. I like how you put that. He had to drag you in so you could spend more time at home caring for your mother.
Well, and his other brothers were already signed up, so I mean,
Yes.
there you go, 30, 20.
So your two brothers enlisted. They got cushy jobs. You waited to get drafted so you could be with your mother, and they sent you right to the front line in combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I went to the boot camp and everything, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. many different locations, right?